Hello and welcome to Sports Night. I'm Kat Murphy.
David Cabrera.
I'm Naira Tolliver.
And I'm Caitlin Cleveland.
First off, we're going to go to Naira for some SU sports.
Thank you, Kat. Baseball has an overall record of 8-2 and played a doubleheader against Gallaudet University and won both games by the first score of 11-4. Sophomore right-hander Brett Kalicki tossed a one-hit shutout in the second game, and senior righty Andrew Levy went the distance in the first game by scattering 8 hits and 4 runs. He also fanned 7 and walked 2 in 108 pitches. Nick Gentry hit the first Salisbury triple of the season in the bottom of the third to give the Seagulls the edge. Salisbury won the second game of the doubleheader by a score of 14-0. The Seagulls' next home game is against Christopher Newport University on March 13th at 2 o'clock. Women's softball has an overall record of 2-2 and played a doubleheader against Lynchburg University and lost the first game 6-4 and won the second game 2-1 in 9 innings. Game 2 proved to be a nail-biter. Down early, junior first baseman Harley Hill delivered the game-tying hit and also the winning run when she blasted a hit into left field to end the game. Rachel Johnson took her first loss of the season in Game 1 as Lynchburg scored 6 runs in the top of the 6th after Salisbury was leading 4-0. Sophomore Rachel Johnson was named the CAC Pitcher of the Week for the second week in a row. And Salisbury will play on March 15th when it hosts Capital University and the State University of New York at Cortland on the first day of the Salisbury Invitational in Salisbury at 12. Now on to Caitlin with men's and women's lacrosse.
Thank you, Naira. This weekend, the men and women's lacrosse teams added wins to both of their records. On Saturday, the women defeated Washington and Lee University with a final score of 15-8. Shelby Neemsek led the team with 4 goals and 1 assist, while Katie Bolhorst also put up a strong performance with 2 goals and 6 assists. On Sunday, the team took on Roanoke College and won 20-10. Multiple players on the team, including Lauren Fauchers, Samantha Durrani, and Maggie Roundy had hat tricks for the Seagulls. The team now has an overall record of 3-0. Also on Sunday, the men enjoyed a victory of their own after defeating Ohio Wesleyan 4-3. After an early goal by Luke Phipps, the Gulls struggled to regain the lead, but back-to-back goals by Eric Klug helped propel the team to a win. They now have a record of 5-2 and will play York College at home on Wednesday at 7.
And now on to the next question. After being close to releasing him last week, the Baltimore Ravens traded wide receiver Anquan Boldin to the San Francisco 49ers today for a 6th-round draft pick. How will this affect the Ravens as Boldin travels to his Super Bowl opponents? The Ravens fans are really upset about this.
I'm just mad he got traded to the Niners. Out of all the teams, it had to be the Niners. And it was for a 6th-round pick. This guy got traded for a 3rd-round pick when he got traded from the Cardinals. So you're telling me that his value decreased?
And I don't know how it could have decreased after an incredible
he led
Super Bowl and playoff. He had 22 catches for 380 yards. You're just going to say that?
No, I was going to say he led receiving yards in the Ravens for the 3 seasons.
So why? You know, I'm pretty mad at Flacco because he's getting all this money, and the whole reason that he did so awesome is because his wide receivers rock. I mean, Torrey Smith and Anquan Boldin are the bomb, and he would not be making nearly as much money if it wasn't for them, and I am a firm believer for that. So
he actually did defend Boldin though. He was like,
he did, but
don't cut him and all that.
But I mean, Flacco's the one who still gets, $120 million. So, of course, he's not going to complain,
I just think that there's so much more behind it that we don't know. Like, I feel like I don't understand the business side of football enough yet to put all the blame on Flacco. I don't really think that that's it. I think it was just bad timing and an interesting decision. And the fact that no one expected it is why it's so hard on everyone. I know when I got the ESPN alert, I think I fell to the ground. It was embarrassing. But like you said, David, I think it's really the fact that it's to the 49ers. No one expected that, and especially, I know you're going to say this, but that he made comments earlier that if he wasn't going to come back in a Ravens uniform, he was going to retire.
And that's the thing that we talked about, how exactly.
Very true.
We said that. We were like, don't say that you're going to retire a Raven when everybody knows that if you get some kind of great, deal with another team, you're not going to go there. That's just not realistic. And now that kind of proves, I mean, I'm sure he's a good guy, but I just think that says a little something about his character. He should probably watch what he says. I'm just saying, I just don't think that was a smart thing to say at all. Why, why would you say that?
The thing is, at least we got something out of it. I mean, they were just going to cut him. Many people thought they were just going to cut him and not get anything, but I mean, we got a 6th-round pick, which
still isn't worth.
I don't think it's worth losing Anquan.
Absolutely not. He's an incredible player.
I do stand behind his decision to not accept a pay cut. I appreciate that Flacco stood by that as well. Yes, I think Flacco should get a pay cut, but
yeah. He's probably going to restructure his deal. There's no way that you can give him.
I mean, this is his one deal is affecting so many other players. It's just not realistic. I agree. I think they're going to definitely change it.
But I mean, unlike most Ravens fans usually do, and unlike I usually do, I'm going to try to stand by my team and hope that they made the right decision. Stop laughing at me, Naira. I know.
No, I'm pretty mad. I'm a little mad about this.
I'm mad, but you just got to move on. We'll see what happens.
And in all this, the Niners got better. Like all they had was Crabtree before this, and now they got Boldin and Crabtree and Vernon Davis.
Well, it's gonna be awkward when he walks in to the
hey, check out my Super Bowl ring. Just beat you guys. Exactly. What do you think of it? Do you like it?
I saw a funny meme that said when you can't beat your brother, just steal from him, and it had Jim Harbaugh on it. So
it was like a joke going around that he just probably wanted to talk to his brother because they probably hadn't talked in a while since the loss. It was like, here you go, bro. Will you talk to me now?
Yeah, seriously. That's good. So I guess we'll see how the Ravens hold up.
Yeah.
With a 10-13-1 record and standing 3rd in the division, is there any chance that the Washington Capitals will make it into the playoffs?
If they go on like this amazing run, and I mean
like they need like a 20-win streak.
Well, not even like a 20-win streak. I just think that they need to put together 5 games that they win where they play defense, where they play hard, and like those 2 games that they played in New York was against the New York Islanders and against the New York Rangers. They weren't getting. There were a lot of calls that were a little questionable in both games, but I just think, who do you look at when you play the New York Islanders? You look at John Tavares. You have to guard John Tavares, just like everybody game plans against Ovechkin. Have to game plan against John Tavares, and then with the New York Rangers, you have to game plan against Ryan McDonough, Marion Gaborik, Rick Nash, all those guys, and they didn't do that. And then just the Rangers and a couple bad penalties by Ovechkin just kind of broke that game open. So.
And didn't Alex Ovechkin make comments about the refs being fair to him?
They were very questionable. Some of those calls were very questionable, like the holding call. And you kind of let that go. He was going down. Ryan McDonough was coming around him. You could say, yeah, he held him. Also, you could say Ryan McDonough was coming around him with the puck, and Alex Ovechkin was trying to move his arm up the ring. I mean, there are a lot of things you could say, but another point, I also don't like it when the Capitals are on NBC.
They never play well on NBC.
They don't play well on NBC.
They have a problem on NBC.
And the guys on NBC don't like Washington. So, I mean, they don't like Washington.
Commentators are the
Matt Millen, Eddie Olczyk, and Pierre LeBrun. Shoot me down in the face because I just can't handle them. But
they're like 7 points out of the 8th spot right now, right?
They are. I mean, they can do something. Like, they could, like, you see they're 3rd in their division, which means the Southeast Division is really, really, really bad.
Conference is probably terrible.
The Eastern Conference isn't that good. I mean, but you can't compare it to the Western Conference because you look at what the Blackhawks are doing. They're just kicking butt.
They just lost 2 in a row.
Yeah, it's just not very likely. There's no way. I don't think they're gonna. I mean, there's too many games that they have to win to be able to make it.
I don't know. I think
into the playoffs.
It's
a lot.
It's enough that they just turn their season around in such a shortened season with a first-year coach and Adam Oates. I think that's enough. I don't think they're probably right now just looking to finish strong. Maybe not. I mean, clearly every team's worried with making the playoffs, but for such a short season, I think that's the least of their worries right now. I think they should already be looking towards next season at this point.
Just got to be consistent. That's
2-8 or starting 2-8.
And on to our next question. Liberty University makes it into the NCAA playoffs with a record of 15-20. Is this fair to teams who have better records?
No, this is so. I understand the whole concept that if you win your conference tournament, you get an automatic bid into the NCAA tournament.
But
it just makes me so mad.
They started out. Can I say real quick? They started out 0-8, and then 1-10.
What?
and then won in 10, and they came back, and now they're in the, like, what?
Hey, that's pretty admirable, though.
I mean, it is admirable, but that's not deserving.
How is that fair to a bubble team that's not going to make it in because of them? And they're gonna get out in the first round anyway. Like
they're not.
Well, exactly.
Like, I mean,
no.
Like, yeah, you
That's
could.
what I was gonna say.
I mean, of course, I'm upset because I'm like, there are plenty of other teams out there that are like better than them. But I mean, you look at what Norfolk State did to Missouri last year. They ousted them in the first round. I mean, it happens. So I mean, but it's just these automatic qualifying.
Since 2000,
it's just not. It's not fair.
Since 2008, I think, or in the past couple of years that a team below 500 average has made it in, they've gotten out the first round every time.
Yeah.
So looking at statistics and historically, they're going to get out in the first round.
Yeah.
Yes, everyone loves a Cinderella story, but leave that to teams that had a Cinderella season and deserved to make it in, not a, oh, we just got good at the right time.
Yeah, I agree.
That's not okay. Like, that's why I like it. That's why I like, I just don't like that system. It should be like major league systems where, like, if you have a good enough record, you make it in, like NFL, like anywhere. Really.
It just makes more sense.
But
it allows mediocrity to kind of get into the playoffs. Like, I mean, you look at even when UConn won the championship. That was the UConn Butler National Championship.
Never talk about that game ever.
Was the worst game I have ever watched in my life. I was bored.
I agree.
I was like, the commercials are better than this game.
I was like, who's gonna make a shot?
Is anyone going to shoot the ball?
I agree.
Like,
I remember that.
so, I mean, yeah, we can be mad, but I think what the NCAA wants to do is they want to make sure everybody gets their fair shot. My thing is like, you look at Maryland, and even if you look at like even like University of New Mexico, like good teams who like are winning their conference or winning, you know, their division or whatever, they may not get in because Liberty's in, and they're 15 and 20, and they're gonna be sitting at home on their couch watching Liberty.
They talked about expansion. They need to do it.
I mean, if you're gonna do expansion, at least make it to the point where you have to have at least a winning record.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah, I agree.
At least a winning record.
They're the second school to ever make it into the playoffs with
0-8 to start the
20.
Season, though?
Yeah, that's 0-8, and then 1-10. So it's not like they're.
That's terrible.
And it's terrible.
Like that's. I guess as a Maryland fan, I'm just upset about that because Lord knows Maryland's not going to make it in the NCAA.
They got to win the ACC tournament.
They have to. The only way they can make it is win the ACC tournament. Then I'll have a different opinion about this whole like conference thing.
Very true.
But and like we all know, like NIT hates Maryland and they won't get into the NIT. Not that that's an accomplishment at all, but we won't even make it in there, even after a decent-ish season, not very consistent, but like we beat Duke, so
that's always a good day.
That's all that matters. Still didn't get UNC, but NC State and Duke, we can deal with that. So, I'm just gonna,
But that's all right.
And on to our next question. During the World Baseball Classic, Mexico and Canada participated in a full-on brawl, which ended in 0 suspensions. Is this fair?
Yes.
That was crazy. Can we just talk about how crazy that is really quick? They were tearing each other up.
The coaches.
They were all on there, and they're throwing each other on the ground. I was like, oh my gosh, this should be on like WWE or something.
I bet that was a 5-minute highlight on ESPN.com. I did though. It was funny.
I watched. It was pretty,
hilarious. I mean, but this is what happens when you don't have that code of conduct. Like every
Nair, explain to our viewers.
Sport has a code of conduct, a code of rules that you follow by. Baseball's rules in Major League Baseball is if you're up by like 5+ runs by the 7th, 8th inning, you are not supposed to attempt to score runs. It's a code of conduct. That's just how it is. Everybody knows it. World Baseball Classic, they don't follow that. It's a run differential to like basically like improve your ranking or improve like if you're in Pool A and you're #1 seed in Pool A or whatever like that. So World Baseball Classic, like they encourage you to score as many runs as you can, and this is what happens when you encourage guys who are wearing their national, when they have their national pride, when they're wearing their Canada and Mexico jersey, when they're wearing that, that's what you're gonna get out of those guys. They're passionate about where they're from. And yes, even though we created USA, we created the sport. Yep. Mexicans and Canadians, they love the sport just as much as we love the sport.
True.
So what happened was Canada was trying to bunt, correct? Because they wanted to.
I think they got on that. Actually,
he got on the bunt. He got on
and
the
then
bunt, and then the third
Cruz, the third baseman, signaled for him to hit the player, and then they freaked.
Wouldn't that be the manager's job, though?
Yeah, that's normally the manager's call, but in like certain.
Interesting.
But what was funny was the Mexican manager said, "We didn't. Do they not know the rules?" Like after the fight, like everybody, the Mexican manager was like, "Did they not know the rules? Like there are rules. Like everybody knows the rules. Like you know what you're doing in the World Baseball Classic. You know you have to score. You have to keep scoring until the game is over." So even the Mexican manager was kind of like shaking his head, kind of being like, "My guys, I explained to these guys, this is what the World Baseball Classic is all about." And the factor that this huge fight where Mexican fans are throwing water bottles.
Oh my gosh.
People are getting pelted.
That was terrible.
How that Canadian player like took down the Mexican player, then started running, and then I was like, oh my God, that is the greatest fight of
So
my
is it
life.
fair for them not to have any kind of suspension or anything at all?
This is what you get when you have
But
that
still,
rule.
like, I think it's so weird that after all, except for hockey, like when you have a fight of that scale, that badly, you have to do some sort of reprimanding. Like, yeah, there's 7 players ejected, but then they get to come back and play like as if nothing happened.
Canada got what they deserved though, because they got beat by USA. So
it's like
it's the circle of baseball life.
Circle of life.
Basically, that's what it is.
But I know they interviewed Cruz when he returned back to his training camp.
He's all ready to be better. He's moving on.
There was the same quote over and over again that he
was like, I lost it, but I'm moving on.
I lost it,
but I'm going to be better.
They asked the next question. I lost it, but I'm ready to move on.
Like,
give us another answer. Like, clearly, that just made me mad that I lost it. I lost it. Well, he should have been reprimanded, and something should have happened.
But like, what are you gonna do? You can't suspend. Major League Baseball can't suspend him because that happened in a different.
Well, they should figure something out then.
I think that I don't know about suspension. I wish there was some kind of minor.
They both should lose the
punishment. Yeah, no one wins.
No one won.
They should have. I mean, you can't have people fighting all over the place. That's just not professional.
It was entertaining.
It was entertaining. Well,
I guess if it doesn't,
for Nair, it was fun. So let's.
Bipartisan person.
Bipartisan.
I don't care about Mexico,
or
Canada. I've just combined the 2 names now, Mexico or Canada. I mean, we're in between.
They're a top hat in our pants, so
you don't expect for them to have this issue with each other, and then all of a sudden, baseball happens. Wow.
You just never know.
All right, let's go on to our next topic. Towson University has been forced to eliminate baseball and men's soccer due to Title IX. How will this affect the university?
This is so sad.
This is a really sad story.
I have a lot of friends that go to Towson, and all over Twitter and Facebook they're saying it's just. I just think that should be that's just not fair. I mean, a kid going to college and like playing in a collegiate sport at the NCAA, like. They deserve to have that, and it just kills me that they're not.
The players are so mad. They're literally protesting.
They're trying to kick that athletic director off Twitter.
The kids are saying like, we're not going to support Towson. We're not going to wear Towson. They have kids on the baseball team that are blacking out their shirts they play Delaware University, and they blacked out their shirts because they didn't want to be like representing their team. So, they played the whole game, and they don't think they have anything to play for anymore.
You gotta do what you gotta do. I understand like why you're mad. Like, of course, I get that you're upset. Your school is no longer having the sport that you came there for. But you look at all the other schools that have done this in the past. Like Maryland's cut almost some of their sports.
That made me mad too.
You don't see kids blacking out their jerseys in protests. So I just think, of course, they act like they can't go to another school and play.
Well, that's the thing.
You signed up.
They're coming here.
You signed up to play for Towson University to wear the yellow and black, and then they're just like, oh wait, never mind, we're cutting your program.
But you have to understand that there's not every school gets a basic amount of funding, so you have to know that going in that sometimes your program may not last the whole time you're there. That you may not get everything that you're promised. My thing is don't be disrespectful to the school and black out that school's name. I mean, they have done a lot for you. Even though they're cutting the program,
they think that cutting the program means that they don't want to represent them anymore. So they think that the only way and they want to like go out in the season with a bang and like prove to them that they never should have cut them and make it this whole big thing.
Well, yeah, do
but
that, but
the
don't
player,
black out the jerseys.
Yeah, they're infuriated. And the soccer
mad,
team I haven't heard nearly as much about as baseball, because there's something, there was like a press conference or something, and you know, kids were like, you know, protesting, going back and forth, and I don't know. I mean, I guess the whole reason they cut it is obviously due to Title IX and
budget
apparently
cuts.
budget cuts. Yeah, they're because of funding, they're not getting enough. They're putting more into the program than they're getting out of it. So now a ton of money is going to football, which I mean makes sense. But I agree. I think they're pretty good too. I mean, but it sucks to have to get rid of baseball and soccer, which are obviously two very prominent sports in today's world. It's just a sad.
In America,
in America, soccer's not. You're not like, oh my gosh.
But still, they're, you know, when you think of
like
main sports, you think of, you know, soccer, football, baseball, like, you know, and it's just sad to see that, you know, how upset the players are and how they have to get rid of it. It's not cool. Not cool. Oh, and another thing. Sorry. They're bringing in
next question.
One more thing. They're bringing in tennis now. They're bringing in men's tennis when they get rid of those two, because tennis is like super cheap. So they're bringing in men's tennis, and then they're getting rid of those two.
So they're gonna bring in men's tennis.
Yes.
You know, and I kind of understand that weird logic. Oh, all we buy are tennis rackets and balls because I can buy my own apparel.
But that's the thing. They're saying like, hey,
you can't buy
tennis
your
costs
own
nothing. Let's bring back in. It's only men's tennis too. They're like, all right, let's bring back in tennis. We're gonna get rid of baseball
Well, they're
and
not
soccer.
saying that they can't bring it back. I mean, they could
but
bring it back.
Bringing back a program is so hard to do. Bringing back a program is so hard. Like, that's not something that people do all the time. Like, bringing in any kind of program brand new. You got new coaches. People don't want to come to you if you don't have a. Sorry, I'm talking a lot.
No, I know someone that just went to a brand new program.
But it's just, it takes time to build it up.
Yeah, that's true.
And to build a reputation. It's hard to just go in and be like, all right, we're either going to be awesome or we're going to be really bad. You just don't know.
No, you just,
and now there's neither.
And now we'll never know. We'll never know.
Oh, well.
All right.